The reality of witchcraft around the world. Across the globe, witchcraft is not just a tale told in movies or a myth buried in old books. It is a living, breathing reality in many cultures, still feared, practiced, and respected in the 21st century. From ancient times, human beings have tried to connect with the unseen, the spiritual realm that controls health, wealth, destiny, and even death. For some, this connection took the form of prayer, meditation, and divine guidance. For others, it manifested as rituals, spells, and the use of supernatural forces to control outcomes. This is where witchcraft was born, and this is why it continues to hold dark power in different parts of the world, even today. When you travel through Africa, you will hear of traditional healers who are both revered and feared. In places like Nigeria, Tanzania, or South Africa, witchcraft is not only a private practice, but a public concern. Accusations of witchcraft can destroy families, while rituals meant to harness dark power can shake entire communities. People still believe that curses can cripple success, that spells can cause sickness, and that charms can shift destinies. The fear of witches is so strong that in some villages, elders are forced to perform cleansing ceremonies just to restore peace. In Latin America, particularly in Brazil and Haiti, you find another dimension of witchcraft through practices like voodoo and macumba. Here, people merge ancient African traditions with local beliefs and even fragments of Christianity. It is a blend of light and shadow, where faith and fear exist side by side. To an outsider, these rituals may seem exotic, even theatrical, but to those who live under their influence, the power is very real. Some turn to it for healing, others for revenge, and many simply to survive in societies where spirituality shapes every decision. Even in Europe, where science and progress dominate, witchcraft has not been erased. Countries like Romania and parts of Eastern Europe still harbor deep fears of curses and evil eyes. In fact, professional witches exist today, offering their services for money, casting spells, removing bad luck, or binding relationships. Though modern, these societies still carry the weight of ancient traditions, proving that witchcraft is not limited to one region, one faith, or one people. And in Asia, from India to Indonesia, witchcraft continues in many hidden forms. Some practice black magic in secrecy, others perform rituals openly during festivals. In rural areas, a single accusation of being a witch can lead to violence or social exile. Fear becomes a weapon, and darkness thrives where knowledge and faith are weak. But let us remember, witchcraft thrives not because of its actual power, but because of the fear it generates. Darkness feeds on fear, while light feeds on faith. The belief that someone can curse you only becomes powerful when you accept it as truth. That is why spiritual awakening is so important. When you awaken your inner strength and stand in divine light, you strip away the fear that witches and curses feed upon. So yes, in 8 countries and beyond, witchcraft may still hold dark power. But greater than any curse is your faith, your awareness, and your connection to the Creator. The influence of fear and belief. If we look deeper into why witchcraft still has power in certain countries, we discover something very important. It is not only about rituals, potions, or secret gatherings. It is about the invisible power of belief. Fear and belief are like two sides of the same coin. They shape human behavior, control entire communities, and give strength to forces that otherwise might have no hold at all. Imagine a village where everyone believes that a curse can cause sickness. If a child falls ill, instead of looking for medical reasons, people instantly assume that a witch has cast a spell. That belief, rooted in fear, spreads like wildfire. Soon, the family is isolated, accused, or punished. Not because of proven evidence, but because the power of belief has taken control of their reality. This is how witchcraft thrives, through the energy of collective fear. Fear is a chain. It binds the mind, weakens the spirit, and makes a person vulnerable. When people constantly expect bad things to happen, they unconsciously open themselves to negativity. This is not only true in villages or small communities, but in modern cities as well. Someone who believes that every failure, every heartbreak, every sickness is the result of a curse will live in constant anxiety. They will never see their own potential, their own choices, or the blessings around them. Instead, they become prisoners of their own mind. On the other hand, belief is powerful because it directs energy. In some countries, witch doctors or spiritual practitioners are paid to remove curses, cast blessings, or ensure prosperity. The rituals themselves may or may not have real supernatural power, but the person receiving them feels lighter, stronger, more hopeful, because they believe something has changed. This shows us a deeper truth. Belief can heal, empower, and liberate just as easily as it can harm, weaken, and enslave. Throughout history, leaders, rulers, and even entire nations have used this principle. When people are controlled by fear, they are easy to manipulate. When they are guided by belief in light, truth, and hope, they become unshakable. This is why, in the 8 countries where witchcraft still holds dark power, the greatest weapon witches use is not their potions or spells. It is the mind of the people. Once they convince you that you are cursed, you begin to live as if it were true, and your reality shapes itself around that belief. But here is the awakening. No curse has power over a heart filled with light. No spell can stand against faith. Fear creates cracks where darkness can enter, but belief in divine protection builds walls that no darkness can penetrate. The same mind that trembles at curses can become the same mind that declares victory, freedom, and abundance. So remember this: the power of witchcraft is not in the witch. It is in the fear of the victim. And once you take back your belief, once you replace fear with faith, the chains of darkness fall away. You are stronger than you think. Breaking the chains of darkness. When we talk about witchcraft holding dark power in different countries, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, as though these forces are too ancient, too mysterious, or too strong to resist. But the truth is far more empowering. Every chain of darkness can be broken. Witchcraft is not about absolute control. It is about deception. It thrives in the shadows, whispering lies, magnifying fear, and making people believe they are weaker than they truly are. Once you shine the light of awareness, courage, and faith into those shadows, the illusion collapses. The first step in breaking the chains of darkness is awareness. Many people fall victim to witchcraft simply because they are unaware of how it works. They give power to rumors, accusations, and fear without ever questioning their source. Awareness opens your eyes to see that not every illness is a curse, not every failure is a spell, and not every loss is a punishment from the unseen. Life has its ups and downs, and while spiritual forces are real, they are not the ultimate masters of your destiny. By becoming aware, you take the first step toward freedom. The second step is cleansing. Not only cleansing your space, but also your heart and mind. In many traditions, cleansing rituals involve water, salt, fire, or incense. These are physical symbols of a greater truth, that negativity must be released for positivity to flow in. But cleansing is not only about rituals, it is about your daily choices. Forgiveness cleanses the heart. Gratitude cleanses the mind. Prayer cleanses the spirit. When you choose to release anger, bitterness, and fear, you are cutting the roots that allow darkness to grow inside you. The third step is protection. People in countries where witchcraft is strong often carry charms or talismans for protection. While these may offer psychological comfort, the most powerful protection is invisible. It is the shield of faith. When you believe deeply that you are protected by divine power, no curse can penetrate. It is like carrying a light so bright that no shadow dares to come near. Speak affirmations of protection over yourself, your family, and your home. Declare daily, I am covered in light. I am safe. I am free. With this mindset, you are no longer living in fear, but in strength. Finally, the greatest key to breaking the chains of witchcraft is connection. Connection to the Creator, to divine truth, to the higher self within you. Darkness isolates. It makes you feel small, alone, and helpless. But connection fills you with purpose and courage. The more you pray, meditate, and live with intention, the stronger your inner light becomes. And when your light shines, no darkness can survive. Remember this: witchcraft may hold dark power in some countries, but it is not stronger than the human spirit awakened in truth. You were never born to be a victim of curses. You were born to rise, to create, to shine. The chains of fear may have bound generations before you, but they do not have to bind you. You can choose today to step into the light and live free. Choosing light over darkness. At the end of the day, the battle against witchcraft, whether in Africa, Asia, Europe, or the Americas, is not about rituals versus rituals or spell against spell. It is about choice. Every human being is faced with a choice every single day to feed the light or to feed the darkness. Darkness survives when people give in to fear, jealousy, hatred, and superstition. Light flourishes when people choose faith, gratitude, forgiveness, and love. In many of the countries where witchcraft still holds dark power, fear is the thread that ties entire communities together. People whisper about curses, they accuse neighbors of evil, and they allow suspicion to poison their relationships. Families turn against families. Villages live in constant anxiety. But all of this begins to change when one person chooses to rise above it. When one person says, "I will not fear. I will trust in the divine. I will live in light." That single decision begins to break the cycle. You see, light is not passive. It is powerful. It transforms every space it enters. Just as a single candle can drive out darkness in a large room, a single heart full of faith can shift the energy of an entire home, community, or even nation. This is why spiritual awakening is so important. It reminds us that we are not helpless against curses, that we are not victims of unseen enemies. We are co-creators of our lives, empowered by the same divine energy that moves the stars, the oceans, and the universe itself. Choosing light means guarding your mind. Refuse to let fear take root. Replace every negative thought with a positive affirmation. When you feel weak, remind yourself, "I am protected. I am guided. I am chosen for greatness." When you feel anxious, declare, "This fear has no power over me. I walk in faith." These simple words, repeated with conviction, create a shield stronger than any charm. Choosing light also means guarding your environment. Keep your home clean, fill it with positive energy, play uplifting music, and speak words of love. Do not allow anger, hatred, or gossip to create cracks where darkness can enter. In many cultures, people burn incense, sprinkle salt, or use oil to protect their spaces. These practices are powerful not only because of tradition, but because they carry intention. And intention is energy, energy that declares, "This place belongs to peace." Most importantly, choosing light means guarding your heart. Witchcraft thrives on division, jealousy, and resentment. But when you forgive, when you show compassion, when you release envy, you are cutting off the fuel that darkness needs to survive. Love is the highest frequency in the universe. It dissolves curses, breaks chains, and restores balance where there is chaos. So, whether you live in one of the 8 countries where witchcraft still holds influence or anywhere else in the world, the principle is the same. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of shadows. You are a being of light, created with divine purpose, and you carry within you the power to overcome any darkness. Choose faith, choose peace, choose light, because once you choose light, darkness loses every battle. As we come to the end of this journey, let us reflect on everything we have discovered. Witchcraft may still hold dark power in 8 countries, but the deeper truth is this: it only survives where fear is alive, where belief in weakness is stronger than belief in strength, and where people forget the light that already lives within them. Darkness has never been more powerful than light. It only appears strong when we close our eyes to the truth. From Africa to Latin America, from Europe to Asia, we have seen that witchcraft is not just about rituals, charms, or secret spells. It is about energy. It is about the power of fear, belief, and intention. When people live under the shadow of curses, they begin to shape their lives around that shadow. But the moment they awaken, the moment they realize that fear is only a chain that can be broken, everything changes. The prison doors of superstition open, and freedom rushes in like sunlight. This is the call of spiritual awakening, to open your eyes, to reclaim your power, and to walk in divine truth. You were never born to be a victim of curses or a prisoner of fear. You were created with purpose, designed with strength, and blessed with the ability to carry light wherever you go. That light within you is your greatest shield, your greatest weapon, and your greatest victory. When you walk into your home, declare it a place of peace. When you speak over your life, declare words of abundance and protection. When you feel fear, replace it with faith. And when others try to convince you that you are cursed, stand boldly and say, I am not cursed. I am chosen. I am not weak. I am strong. I am not bound. I am free. These affirmations are not just words. They are spiritual keys that unlock doors of blessing, health, and prosperity. Remember this: darkness cannot survive where light is present. A single candle destroys the thickest shadow. A single heart filled with faith can shift an entire environment. And a single decision to trust in the divine can silence the loudest fears. This is why the true power does not lie in witchcraft. It lies in you, in the choices you make, and in the spirit you carry. So as you step forward from this message, do not carry fear in your heart. Carry awareness, carry gratitude, carry the determination to live in light every day. Whether witchcraft is practiced openly in your country or whispered about in secret, it does not define your destiny. Your destiny is greater, higher, and stronger than any curse could ever be. Today, you are reminded, you are not a victim of darkness. You are a vessel of light. And when you walk in that light, no shadow, no spell, and no curse can touch you. The triumph is already yours. Now it is time to live it.